You're listening to The Darren Green Show. Right here. What's up? What's up? What's up? I am your host, Darren Green, back with another episode. I'm joined by my co-host, Derek Dahl.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Be sure to give us there's a thing on Spotify now where you got to get notified. So please, if you're listening on Spotify, follow me at TDGS Media on Instagram and Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page. We need more subscribers on there. And today, we're joined by creative Sean Anthony. Brian, how is it? How are you?
Yeah. I'm doing really, really great. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How you doing?
What you been up to?
I've been working. Listen, I've just been working. So, I have my usual 9 to 5 to put some money in this account. And then, I have my creative passion. So, still working on Retweet or Delete with my Queer Millennial Family, which we have that drops every Monday. And I'm also I wrapped season 1 of the Little David Show, and season 2 is going to be coming out soon, so stay tuned. So I've been working photography, Hey Baby Radio, so I've been doing quite a few things, trying to stay busy and then work on my own business as well. So I'm out here working every day.
So first of all, how was everyone's Valentine's Day? Because I know everybody here got a person or whatever, except for me. So I guess I'm gonna ask y'all how y'all Valentine's Day was. Okay.
Don't Derek has a person.
Right. He just dropped a promo video. Had us all thinking he was booed up from those 90s Sadie Hawkins dance pictures he dropped.
I wanted to ask about that too. Yeah.
Well, my Valentine's Day was decent. Very low key. This is the first Valentine's Day that, like in 5 years, that I'm not single.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually the quietest one that I've had so far. It was nice. A nice little bowl bath and, and music and all that little nice lovey-dovey stuff. So it was cute. And it was cold, so like, sit your ass in the house, child.
Right. It's cold. It's COVID, honey. We gotta stay inside. Look.
Cold and COVID. That's a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Sean? I seen you had your 2000s photo. That was cute. I like that.
Yes. Shout out to Mojo Disco, who is the creative director and photo shoot of the shoot. And it was amazing. Also, she's like one of the best creatives I ever worked with. So shout out to her. But she asked me to do this really cool photo shoot for Valentine's Day, 2000s themed, very Banji, New York. And I was like, I'm with it. So shout out to Queer Love. That we were able to be a part of it, and the man who I was photographed with is not my man. So, I'm single.
Okay.
Because I feel like after I posted, people were like, "Oh, like who is this?" and da. I'm like, "No, baby, like this is for shoots. This is a shoot."
That's literally yes. Though that's literally said. Because remember when me and Derek we did that photo shoot, and they was like, "Who's that? Who's there?" I'm like, this is just business. Okay.
It's just business.
Right. Business only. Cut the check.
Right.
You're also a photographer. You mentioned that. How long have you been doing that? Like I've seen you. It's I love your photos, by the way. Like you do a really good job. I might hit you up because I need some.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've really been doing photography but I've always had an interest in it for years. But I really started to take it seriously this past year and really just document what life was like during COVID times and just the things that I would see just on the street and just take a picture of, different landscapes of New York City of where I was in that I thought were really, really beautiful. So, been doing it for about a year and some change now, and just learning and growing and doing everything myself. So I love it. So I'm glad that you mess with it, that you enjoy it as well.
So Sean, how long have you been in the creative vein? For those who may not follow you from Queer Millennial, like you said earlier, how long have you been in the creative space? Like, is that like your background, or is it?
Yeah, I've been in the creative space it's been my background ever since I was a kid. So, I mean, I've been doing, so I started off in musical theater. That actually was my background. And then from musical theater, I realized I was like, listen, I know singers who sing and I know dancers who can really move. Okay. And me, I can carry a tune, but I can understand that, Broadway may not be my ministry. So, um, I made the move to start doing more on-screen work. And so it started small and then continued to just build from there. So really, I've been being a creative all my life. But I want to say professionally, really since like 2012, 2013, I've been really hustling and auditioning and doing my thing and creating for my own. So since 2012.
Totally. So what is your ultimate goal? Like, I know that you have your new radio network now. Like, are you trying to be like Wendy Williams / Oprah, Tyler Perry, trying to open studios? Like, what is the ultimate vision that you're going for, that you're working towards?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Hey Baby Radio. So on Instagram and Twitter. Radio is and music in general has been something that's always been a huge love of mine. I grew up to listening to jazz, to reggae, dance hall, hip hop, R&B, pop music. So for me, Hey Baby Radio is a chance to show people the different music, all the different kinds of music that are out there. I love listening to new artists, that people have heard of or unheard of, and just seeing what kind of music is out there. But ultimately, the end goal, to be 100% honest with you, is just to be me and to be creative for as long as I can. Music is a part of who I am. It's an extension of who I am, but it would only be one avenue of who I am in general, right? So having a radio show would just be one small segment of Sean Anthony Bryant. But ultimately, the goal is to have my hands in the pots that I'm passionate about, and music is one of those, and creating, and sharing music with other people is one of those as well.
It's interesting that you say that, because I was going to ask, have you ever thought of taking it to Anchor FM? Because I know Anchor FM has like this new program where you can put Spotify music onto like audio pieces, and in a way of like being a music podcast or announcing music. I mean, I definitely looked into it myself because I do love music announcing and stuff like that. I did that in my second internship. So, is that something that you were thinking of?
And to be honest with you, I've never heard of it until just now. So the wheels are spinning right now for me to kind of to get started at. So I'm gonna look into it. I think that's definitely one thing that I would love to do. So I'm with it.
Yes, and I also know that you mentioned that you were featured in the Little David series. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Little David show is season 1 just wrapped. Essentially, Little David is about our main character, David Williams. So shout out to David, who is the director and creator of the show and also stars in the show. It follows him around pretty much his life in Harlem during quarantine, living with his 2 roommates, myself, Fleek, and Eddie, who's another character. And it takes him to his mishaps with dating, dealing with us and our shenanigans, just dealing with work stuff and his friends. So it's a really, really cool concept. It's funny, and it's dope. It's right now shooting on Urban Flicks TV, and you can kind of catch our updates on Instagram as well at The Little David Show. So season 2 is going to be coming soon. It's being written right now, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the next steps.
Okay, good to hear. I wanted to switch gears a little bit and get your political view on. I will ask you, Derek, too, also, because I know you were very passionate about it on Twitter. How did you guys feel about Trump getting acquitted? Like, whoo, child.
You asking Sean, asking me.
Okay, because
either or. This is a universal.
Man, I think that it was something that it was always to be expected. You know, the Republicans at this point don't really have a backbone. They only use their moral authority to push forward the things that they want and don't really think about the consequences until later or how they can apply them to the opposing side. But you know, I mean, it's the American way. I can't say that I was surprised. I was disappointed. Disappointed, but I wasn't shocked by any means. Like we've said for the past 4 years, Donald Trump is the walking, living, breathing representation of white wealth, male privilege in this country. It is something that our country was founded on. It's principles in that space. And so him being acquitted doesn't surprise me because the goal is always to ultimately protect that foundation of America, whether it's spoken or unspoken. We know what it is. We see it for what it is. And, you know, all we can do now is just pray for better and all to do better and hold these same people that gave that pass accountable.
Okay. Darren, what about you?
I mean, I feel the same way, honestly. Like, I was not surprised that he was acquitted. It was not a shock to me. I would have been surprised if the 2/3 majority voted not to acquit him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been a surprise to me. But like what Derek said, a lot of this country, a lot of who they choose to save or protect are white men, you know? And so that for me that was not a shock. Disappointing, very disappointing. Yeah. To be living in a country where the former president was impeached twice. Yeah. And then, you know, so it's like
it's just it surprised me because it was like, well, it surprised me to a certain extent. Like I knew that something he wasn't. But my whole thing is, there's people that said that there's Republicans rather that said that he definitely was. He had a hand in starting this, you know, this insurrection. But so for them to like completely backpedal, I don't know.
It just seems like it's what they've been doing. Like it's what it's
on brand.
It's on brand. It's peak GOP to say, right, yeah, I don't agree, but then also literally vote to keep the same bullshit going, or you know what I'm saying. So it's like
had it been Obama, we know it would have been a totally different situation.
They would have different. They probably would have put him in jail. I'm like, damn.
He would have been under somebody's prison.
Okay. Well, he can't. It is what it is. And he can run again if he wants to.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the numbers from the elections, from the last 2 elections, in order for him to win again, I think that means that he'd probably have to get like 90 million to beat out whoever else runs it, to beat out Joe Biden as an incumbent. And that would be extremely scary if there are almost 100 million people who agree with this man. That would probably freak me out. This little 75 million compared to 300 million people we have in the country, that's not bad. But if it looks like it's about the country is now living in this delusion, we have a serious problem.
Because that's the real reason why they wanted to impeach him, was because they didn't want him to try to run again because he already tried.
But yeah, I mean, his the speeches he was making was insinuating that this is the beginning of something. No, sir, this has to be the end. You can't take no longer. How far in the hole do you want America to go? We're already unemployed. We're diseased. We got 400,000 of us are dead due to your incompetence. You know, our foreign policy and diplomacy was crumbling. Our alliances were nervous and don't trust us anymore. Our enemies were rejoicing at how isolationist we became. Like, if the goal was to destroy America, then he was doing a great job. And it's so weird that most people who are on the conservative end of the spectrum politically have this fear that, you know, anti-fascist people or that socialist policies or radical communist policies that actually could benefit the people A majority of the people in this country have this idea that that would be what destroys the country, as opposed to the radical right, who basically refuses to move into the future, wants to hold on to this idea or ideology that is almost now 3-4 centuries old, that will not last. And it's weird to me. It's like you're literally cutting off your hands, legs, and feet, just to save what? It doesn't make sense. It's like lunacy.
Breach.
So unfortunate.
Well, we're gonna see how things play out.
I applied for my passport, so.
Speaking of Biden,
you know how things go. Good luck, everybody. It was so nice.
Speaking of Biden, there was some kind of town hall recently, and they were talking about a variety of different things that they were trying to pass. One thing that struck me was the loan forgiveness thing. Like, I guess originally he did say it was supposed to be, he wants to take $10,000 off of student loans, and then Democrats try to tack on 50,000, which, I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's real generous because, honey, I owe. But, in that town hall, he was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. I didn't say that. I was like, oh, okay, well. And then my whole issue is I don't care about the amount. I don't care if it's 10,000 or 50,000. My whole thing is it seemed like it had strings attached because he was like, oh, yeah, well, this will determine whether you're in private or public. I'm like, what? That wasn't, who said that? I thought with people that had loans, period, not if you go to a private or public or private. I mean, I don't know.
So I think what people are misunderstanding about this debate about student loan forgiveness is that it's not just absolute student loan forgiveness. The federal government is allowed to reconcile or cancel and nullify any student loan debt that is given through a federal loan, as in like Sallie Mae, Navient, those financial bodies that provide government funding for people to go to college. And the Secretary of Education can do that with the stroke of a pen. First day in office can say, we're going to eliminate 75% of student debt. And then there's a process in determining what the criteria is for that student debt cancellation. And I think what Biden was trying to say or convey is, listen, at this point, we're battling. First of all, our country's been in debt for years. Like, we always talk about the deficit. Every Democratic president wants to balance the budget. That's a goal, is to get us a balanced budget, get America in a place where we can experience a surplus, kind of like we did under Bill Clinton. But it would require them to say, okay, if we nullify this debt, which means that we're not able to regain what we've given out. That means that we have to now supplement this form of revenue in a different way. And sometimes what that looks like is the cutting of funding from different programs, the pulling back, because it's all about balancing the budget. The money ain't gonna change unless America takes, and they try not to do it as much, but we print our own money. We're not backed by the gold standard anymore. We're a credit floated country. So, it's easy to say, hey, we're just gonna cancel all student debt and try to make it up, in commodities or other resources. We have to start, pumping more money into the pockets of those persons. Now that people don't have debt, it allows them the opportunity to, be first-time homeowners, which can also put you in a new cycle of debt. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's a lot to be unpacked. And I think that over the next 4 or 5 months, as it's discussed, I think, now that people are more engaged politically and are trying to really understand how our nation works, how our taxes affect the foundation of our market, I think we'll be more understanding that, okay, well, it is unreasonable for them to just say, okay, all student debt is gone.
Right.
That's just not how we're structured financially. And another thing is, being a liberal person, it's like we want everything right now. Like, we want everything. We want the federal minimum wage to increase to $15.
Mm-hmm.
We want student loan debt gone. We want universal health care signed into law. We want all these big ticket things. We want them right now. And something that I love about AOC is that she calls it to the floor, but she also said, like, when it's time to put money in education, put money in healthcare, put money into the working class people's pockets, we never have enough money. When it's time to go to somebody else's country and take their shit,
there's always money.
Kill their families and children.
It just appears.
We magically get, money from nowhere. And I think that if we had more progressive leaders in office, if we built a base where we have progressive state legislators and more progressive federal senators, U.S. senators, we'd be able to get some of these far right things passed. But the reality is that majority of Americans are moderate, whether they're moderately conservative or moderately liberal. Majority of our country does not agree with either side of the fringe. We're a moderate country. We want balance. We want to be able to make money and keep it. We want to be able to live our life with social liberties. We want to also be able to have social programs that provide aid if and when we do need them. And we also like to be a part of the capital system. We like the idea of being able to get up and make as much money as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Whatever resources and tools that we have at our disposal.
Hold on. He'll come back sometimes. You just gotta.
Okay. Give it a second.
Yeah, give it a second, but when he'll come back. But he said was very true. I feel like we have to be realistic. I think that's what the thing is. Like 50K was a lot. I definitely believe that. What I'm concerned about is this whole criteria thing. That whole thing about the whole private public. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Because
I
was under the impression everybody that had student loans was getting whatever they was gonna,
And I think that's the thing that actually doesn't make sense to me is why the difference between the two, right? And then even more so than that too, when you're Joe Biden, you're also campaigning, and your team and a lot of the people that are part of your base in the Democratic Party are advocating for student loan forgiveness, and it's been a part of literally everybody's platform, right?
Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. You're in now.
Okay. So it's just like maybe 50,000 is not the goal, but there are a lot of of especially Black and brown people with student loan debt that total over $40,000. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot, because there's always that messaging of, if you go to school, you're going to come out and make buku money, and you're going to go to, and not just only is it just like you're supposed to just go to undergrad now that's not even enough, right? Or we're being told that that's not enough. Then now people got to go to grad school. And so that's additional money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a large population of people.
Guaranteed a job. You're damn sure not guaranteed a job with this pandemic.
Okay. And like it's just it's crippling, because that debt adds up.
He in the comments, he said people should do like I did and request a what? Indefinite. Oh, different. You want to say what is this? What did you? Because he got out the chat room. I'm like, oh my god, what happened? I need to figure out what's going on. I hope he comes back, because look, we gotta keep this thing moving. There we go. Thank God. It's. I have to figure out what's going on. Where was you at? What happened?
Child, they cut me. The laptop.
Honey, speaking the truth.
Right.
Like,
like, I will pay y'all when I'm able to pay. Stop asking for it. You call me every month is not going to change the fact that I ain't got the money to pay. Do I want to set up a plan? No. Remember that thing that Nene said? Like, I've been telling these people this for a very long time. It's not going to work. So but like Sean said, I was still listening. I was still watching on my phone. But yeah, the Democrats have had this. It's one of the planks in the platform, and I think that Bernie Sanders being a part of the Democratic caucus is what brought light to these types of, I'm gonna say financial giveaways. But it is considered a socialist ideal that, you know, people can't move into the middle class if they're bogged down with unnecessary debt. And we brag about being the greatest country in the world and greatest nation and all this stuff, but you can't afford to educate your people for free. You want us to compete internationally, but you also want to keep us from being able to own our own homes and build equity for ourselves and our families without that burden. So I think there's a shift that has to happen within the Democratic Party towards more progressive policies, especially if they want to continue to have the type of turnout they've been seeing with millennials, and I think with Generation Z coming up next, because that's what we want. We don't want to be like our parent, like Generation X before us, like our parents still paying off student loan debt, still working in entry level to middle management positions, and renting, and because of low wages. Like, that's not the future that we see for ourselves. And I think that you know, we're a lot more vocal than people give us credit for. You know, they say that we want everything handed to us. Like, no, we want I want what my grandmother fought for. That's what I want. I don't want anything given to me that, you know, hasn't been worked and fought for and bled for. Because your children get to have it. You get to die. You die and leave your family a fortune, and they get to eat off that for generations. That's not the story for most of Americans, especially for immigrant families who move here and work probably just as hard to build and establish. Sending your kid to college shouldn't be something that people are afraid of or feel like it's going to tank them. It should be something that we're excited about because we know that once we do get these degrees, these master's degrees, that's now a bare minimum, that we'll be able to have a economy that gives us a job, that gives us a livable wage, so that we can pay it back if we are going to take on student loan debt. If not, clear it.
Not clear it.
If not, just clear it. Move, girl.
Actually,
encourage the listeners to be legal. Let me start.
Right. Also, college isn't for everybody. And I think that another thing is too, like, there are so many people that go to college and accrue like $75,000 worth of debt and then end up working outside of the field they went to go get educated in, because it wasn't anything they were passionate about. It was we came from the era of, if you go to college, you'll get a good job, and a good job means what? Good money, and good money means living comfortable. And we've learned that is a lie. That's a lie.
You have to want
with no degrees, with high school diplomas, 8th grade educations, that have made millions of dollars doing exactly what they love doing, what they're gifted at, and so
I was talking to my best friend about the other day. I was like, you can go to college on YouTube, child. I mean, nowadays everything is on the internet, online and stuff. I'm not saying people, if you are passionate about going to college, go to college. I was, you know, I don't think I'll be doing half the stuff that I'm doing now if I wasn't in college. I don't even know if there would be a show if I wasn't in college, because it gave me that drive, and I took a lot of classes that I learned how to, you know, learn about this stuff. But I ultimately believe, yes, college is not for everybody. It's not. There's people that's really successful and they did not go.
Right. And it's your business whether or not you want to go, right? And then on top of that too, people also feel that colleges are a business. Like colleges themselves are businesses, and they are run like businesses. Okay. And so it's not by accident that all these people who are graduating from college are in debt, right? Like these are not by accident. Right. Like colleges with $1 billion endowments, you know, like,
it's one thing to be in debt, but not having the opportunity of getting a job. Like, that is so scary to me, because I'm graduating next semester. Like, so this is real. You get what I'm saying? Like, and if, you know, I pray that, you know, this pandemic lifts up so it can open up some jobs, but like, you know, I did this for like 4 or 5 plus years, and I'm ready to work. You know, I put in the work, and I feel like I need, you know, I did the work, so I should feel like I need the job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Period.
this is scary, but I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm gonna make it.
America's competitive, so it's all about the competition. And also, like, I was gonna talk to one of my friends about, because you said everything is on YouTube, right? We were having a conversation last week about how, you know, when we were in school, like, most of the stuff we learned, we had to like learn it in our dorm rooms. Like, you go to class, but then you really learn the work on your own, right? Like, you get your textbook, you get your lectures, you get your homework. But like Darren said, everything is on YouTube. Like, there are people making hundreds of thousands of dollars creating, I won't say universities, but creating cyber universities where they're teaching master classes on the things that they've learned, and they're able to make their money back while teaching other people trades. And so, yeah, you may not get accepted to the college you want to. You may, you know, decide to go do a trade, or you may decide to go work at a factory or start your lawn care, or those who do have degrees who are struggling to find their space in the market, like, teach what you've learned. And that's also a way for you to, if you want to pay back your student loan, for those who want to, you could probably be able to do it that way too. So, yeah, this is America. There's a million ways to make money.
You got to have a multiple streams of income nowadays.
Yes, absolutely, especially in the U.S.
Yeah, I've come to accept that.
Right.
All right. Well, let's move on. I wanted to talk about Texas because they had a bad week.
Oh my God,
Lord Jesus! So
it's
what
heartbreaking, really.
Well, everything's bigger in Texas, and apparently they had a major snowstorm last week. A guy made a tweet that, you know, the way that the coverage is going and the way that the damage is being portrayed, and I have family in Texas, so I know it's very real. I'm like, it looks like the houses were made out of cotton and straw, because everything, 2 inches of snow fell and stuff started crumbling, which speaks to the infrastructure of the state. It's like, okay, well, this is the same state that is hesitant to move towards green energy, being energy independent.
Talk about it.
You have businesses or energy companies like ERCOT, whose windmills literally like fell over. You know, I'm thinking like their roads aren't prepared to handle you know, this type of climate, this type of weather. And I'm thinking to myself, like, but as long as I've been alive, scientists have said that this was coming, like that climate change was real, that we will be, that areas that may not experience tropical weather will experience it. That means like places like New York, northern states that don't get, you know, the warmest of warm may be experiencing that in the future. States that are southern that, you know, used to having that 70-degree weather for 80% of the year, like, bitch, when it's winter, it's gonna get cold. Like, you're gonna need a winter coat. You need to have winter tires. You know what I mean? Like, these things, like, people for the past 2 decades have been saying this is coming, and the people that are being elected to represent and work for Texas have pushed back on these policies so hard, calling it a hoax. And it's like, this is like a continuation of Trumpism, where it's like deny reality, and then when it hits, everybody panics.
It was a tweet that Ted Cruz made. He said, "I believe climate change when
Texas freezes over."
It was what 2016.
Something like that. And now look at Texas.
Exactly. Okay.
And then something else somebody also talked about. Speaking of Ted Cruz, somebody also mentioned the fact that he also, because it's important that people also recognize who they're also voting in office again, right? And the things that they are voting for or against. Like Ted Cruz also, I read somewhere that he voted against even like Hurricane Sandy relief in Jersey and New York. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, this is the man like is responsible for not having any plan for emergency relief for Texans at all. And it's disgusting that he has to is even in that position or was in that position to begin with, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, you have to remember, Republicans are about state rights, right? Republicans believe that states should be able to govern. They should be able to balance their own budgets. And so him voting against Hurricane Sandy relief is because of the type of package in the amount that it would take of federal dollars, and where they're moving it from. Because remember, Congress, their only job is to debate law, but they're called bills for a reason, because everything is going to cost something. And so him as a U.S. senator voting against the package for New Jersey and New York is, like you said, it's very ironic, because his own people now are going to be looking at him when it's time to debate and to create a bill or to put a relief package together for the state of Texas and their people. And it's going to be interesting to see how he votes and how he tries to bargain his way into more money. Because she was on the other foot. And it just goes to political hypocrisy. Like, people want what they want for themselves, but don't care about anybody else. And that is what we need to watch when it comes to Ted Cruz.
And you know, it's crazy too, because I'm sure y'all follow, but AOC helped raise also like $1 million in less than 24 hours for relief. And it's like, it's also another incident of like, look how y'all paint this woman as well as being this vile, like this vile person who wants the worst for the country. And here she is raising money for relief for a state that she doesn't even have to do this. Like you know what I'm saying? But it's just another like point of hypocrisy from the GOP and how they even talk about AOC particularly, but you know, how they just are hypocrites in general.
Yeah.
Signs of the times. The veil has been ripped, and I think real recognizes real. And for those persons who are paying attention, I feel like the younger people are paying attention to these things. Most older people don't really like change, and they feel like when you look at the left type of policies that they present, it pushes too far. Like, for them, it's like, oh, that's just going a step too far. And I'm like, this coming from the same party that supported the man who created Space Patrol or whatever it was to investigate Mars, but putting policies in place that protect transgender people in the military is too far.
Ooh, Lord,
it makes no sense.
Talk to him.
So
we'll see what happens. I hope it gets better over there, because I've seen so many pictures and videos of destroyed houses and I asked this question earlier, but like, are they still paying for their, like, because I heard people saying they still are made to pay for their like mortgage and light bills, and I'm like, not honey, what, you gonna kick me out? Good luck even getting here.
Listen, people need to shut off that auto pay in Texas, like legitimately shut it off, because there's no heat, no electricity, no water. Like, people are cold, freezing temperatures.
It's gonna cost nearly $1 billion for them to take care of the infrastructure due to that damage. Like, their water pipes froze and
bursted, like,
which means that they're not gonna have water possibly for months. Like, it's not like once this goes away, things will melt and go back to no. Like, throughout the state of Texas, they're gonna have to like dig up earth and like put down new pipes and all those things, rewiring houses, you know. So now I think people who are actually homeowners in Texas are really keeping their eye on the insurance companies, because just like they did when Hurricane Katrina came, and their insurance was like, we covered water damage, but a hurricane is caused by wind, and you don't have wind damage. So that's not covered under your insurance. And, you know, so this is going to be interesting to see.
All these strings.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many strings are going to be attached to the relief for the people in Texas. And if they're going to pressure their leaders to lead and to get them what they need in a way that that I would say like people or our elected officials in Jersey would.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope they have that fight in them. Prayers to Texas.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Prayers for everybody down there right now.
Mm-hmm. I knew people down there. I don't have family down there, but I definitely know people that moved down to Texas. Some of my followers on Instagram, like, they're going through it. All right. I feel like we just been in the negatives and just
been moving. Not in the negatives.
And we got to get more negative, child. But we at Darren Green Show would like to keep rapper Nicki Minaj and her family in our prayers. And for those who don't know, her father, Robert Mirage, was struck and killed in a hit-and-run accident last Friday. I know you all heard about this. It was,
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
The barbs are in mourning.
I said the barbs are in mourning. Well, now it's been reported that the man who allegedly hit him turned himself in.
That's good. Right. We're an investigation agency. We would have found him anyway.
Okay, because if anybody can find anybody,
the barbs.
The barbs will
release your name, address, phone number, social security, all the things.
Mm-hmm. Same day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We're a little more efficient than the Beehive, and I love to see it.
Oh, we definitely more Beehive. They just whine. Anyway, let me see if this show get canceled.
Okay, we just got canceled.
Are you a Beehive?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. 100%.
I mean, I like Beyonce, but okay.
See, that's okay.
Ooh.
And we love that you love her.
Oh, let's talk about something real quick. I gotta slap this in.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all saw it last night. If y'all follow on Twitter, Sean, you know where I'm going with this.
I don't.
You don't? Okay. So last night, there's this like YouTuber. I keep forgetting his name. He's like the gesture of illiteracy or something like that. But he made a post about where where is Beyonce? Where is y'all?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Where are y'all's two favorite celebrities? What are they doing for Texas? And he had made a comment talking about too busy promoting Icy Park or something like that. And he got dragged. Mind you, it had just came out that same day, like maybe like 2 hours later. That they had partnered with Bread of Life, her Be Good Foundation, to raise money. She has like a whole foundation set up for winter storm relief for the people in the state of Texas and in other states who may be affected. So, they swarmed him, drug him by his Kool-Aid stained dreads, and we were living. People got to watch their mouth. Like, that's the thing. It's crazy. People that actually don't like Beyonce, it's like when things happen, that's the first person they're looking for. I'm like, are you sure Beyonce is not your God? Because elections happen, you're looking like, where's Beyonce? Corona happened, well, where's Beyonce? What is she doing? Hurricanes happen, where you had anybody heard from Beyonce? People get shot and killed by the police. Well, what's Beyonce? I'm like, did we elect Beyonce? What happened? That is something.
And my thing is like,
all her money is our money. And that's what we decided collectively. She's the new U.S. State Treasury.
It's not U.S. State Treasury.
She
you know what I'm saying?
She is.
Anyway,
first of all, who is this person?
Not really in person, I wouldn't say.
We're not going to promote them.
Yeah, I'm not going to promote them, but I'll send you the tweet. Those of you who know, if you know, you know.
Yeah. Because it's just like, also like, Beyonce does not here to save everybody all the time whenever something happens. Like, Beyonce is Beyonce, and Beyonce's going to give, that she does, and it's crazy because she does it time and time again of like, raise money for foundations, give money away. Like, she does this literally all the time.
She does it in private most of the time. So my thing is, y'all saying all that, you don't know what she's doing, honey.
And also, in the words of Beast Mode, what are you doing?
Right.
Oh,
Are you like? And that's the thing.
That YouTube money you giving to Texas?
Okay, and my thing is, it's like a person that's well endowed. They're just doing. They get attacked just by doing what they do. I get it. They got a lot of money, and it would be nice for them to donate. but they are not like they work. They have stuff that they got in their lives as well. Like you don't know what people are going through.
Mm-hmm.
Because people was looking at Tammy Rivera because she was crying because her Texas house got. I mean, her shit was messed up. He's like, oh, well, she's rich. Like, I mean, what do you mean she's rich? It's still a house. I mean, she still worked to get that place. You know, it's a lot. I don't know. People just complain. People like to complain, honey.
They do.
From the couch.
Not on the couch.
From complaining from the couch.
Okay.
But it's entertainment, so we love to see it.
We love
Speaking of entertainment, so B. Simone. Y'all follow her?
No, I don't follow her, but you know.
You don't follow her, but you know who she is.
Yes.
Somewhat like Beyonce, she's been followed and plagued by the demon of plagiarism and or passing things off.
You know what? How dare you? How dare you?
Hey, hold on. If we're gonna talk about the whole thing, okay? Right, wrong, and different. All the things.
Well,
but Darren, I think you have the clip from the video that she posted about the list.
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Here it is.
Manifesting love. But here's the little challenge. We got all these things we want in a man. A list of things. He got to be tall. He got to be dark. He got to be handsome. He got to have pretty teeth. He got to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. He got to be rich. He got to be successful. He got to be all these things. And we ain't even half the things on that list. He got to be a family man. You talk to your mama in 6 months, but you want him to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. Your account is in the negative, ma'am. Overdraft fees. He got to have a job. You need to go fill out some applications because you're still unemployed. He got to have pretty teeth. You ain't seen a dentist in 6 years. He got to have a six-pack and be in shape. You can't even walk up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing. Get your life together.
Okay. Well.
That part.
I couldn't wait to talk about this because I talked about this earlier on episode 110, but I didn't give my full opinion on it. Like I kind of gave the story. At first, I was like, because we really don't care about B. Simone right now. She wasn't so. We didn't like her that much right there. So it's for her saying that, like it was a good message, but I think it was a bad messenger, and that's why at first I was like, "Girl, what the fuck are you talking about?" But I do think the message is true, though. I do think, like, hey, if you're trying to attract all of these things, like you got this long list, this big grocery list of things that you want in a man, you got to reciprocate that. That is true, and I also feel that it's the way you say it too. There's a lot of people that sweeten saying what she said was right, but it's the way you say it. Don't tell me I'm eating chips every day. Okay, that's not how you reach people, though. She's trying to reach people. Isn't she?
Don't tell me the truth. But this thing, like,
it's not. Okay, go ahead.
About the truth either.
It's not about the truth.
What? It's not about truth. So what I'm saying, like, people. You said it's not. Don't shoot the messenger. Sometimes how you deliver the message, but sometimes you have to think that people communicate things differently, and some people gather things in a different way. Like my mom could tell me something and I not receive it well, but my grandmother can frame it in a totally different way. And I get it. You know what I mean? Whether it's the tone that she delivers it in, whether it's the type of words she uses, how she delivers that message to me. And I think that B. Simone, like looking at her fans and how she entertains and how she presents her personality, like it wasn't something that was truly off-putting. It's the people that don't follow her or don't really care for her brand of entertainment or style of communication or anything like that. I had an issue with what she was saying, but it's not a new message. Like this is a message that has been floating for about 10 years. Pastors have been standing in the pulpits for years. Like you can't ask someone else to provide things for you that you are not able to provide for yourself, especially when it comes to being a partner. Now we all have deficits. And having a partner that is able to subsidize those things, your interpersonal skills or whatever, we all have those things that we do look for someone to be able to supplement. However, you're not going to sit here and tell me that I got to be physically fit and have abs and work out, 4 or 5 times a week. And you don't eat a healthy diet. You don't work out in any form of way. You don't like walking. You're not interested in those things for yourself. Why are you putting the work on me to do things that you're not willing to do for yourself? You want me to be financially stable and wealthy and successful. okay, well, what are you adding to that wealth? Like,
okay,
are you looking for a partner or a parent? That is the message she was. That's what I took. Like, you look for a partner or a parent.
That's what you took, and what you said is true.
Mm-hmm.
You said it the way you said it. Okay, the way she said it
was not that.
I'm sorry. Like, why are you aggressive as hell telling me what I need to be doing? First of all, if you're trying to reach people, and in this generation, if you want to reach people, respect comes a long way. Mm-hmm. So you already telling me I need to stop. I'm huffing and puffing when I'm running up the stairs, girl.
But this is also the same girl who was talking about manifesting. Talking about manifesting what you want, and like thinking hard about what you want, and put things on the vision board of what you want. Sis, what if these girls? If it's their business as well. So like, if what you like is what you like. But also, I'm just not a fan of B. Simone just getting up on there and like doing a complete, like, her message was also a complete 180 from what she was talking about before.
Cool.
She wasn't on that. Yeah, because she went from, you know, envision the man that you want and whatever, to now being like, oh, well, you can't get that. You have to do da. However, I do get what you're saying though, Derek. Like, I'm from the school of, you need to be able to, whatever you want at your table, you need to be able to bring that forward yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The appetizers.
Exactly. Like,
at the entree, at least bring the appetizer.
No, and what she said was true. I do agree. That's why I wasn't offended what she said. It's just how she said it. It's like, girl, that's how you talk to your fans. Like, damn, God bless them. But, you know, yeah, if you have like this big grocery list of people that you want, like, you need to, like I said, you need to reciprocate it. And I think that's what the message was. Do I think
is a lot of people, because of the past that she had with that manifestation book, where she literally like took from like different influences and made a book out of it. I think the outcry came from like, we know what this bitch is doing. She's gonna spill this message, and then it's gonna be a book come out 2 months later talking about the list and how to manifest your list and how to manifest the list for yourself and how to attract it. Because I feel like I understand the trajectory of what manifestation means. Like, it's literally about the universal law of attraction, and that's about sending out the energy that you want to come back, that's going to loop back to you, and manifesting that in a being, right? And so I think the outcry came from people who actually have made books like that already, who have made their life work to be life coaches. And, you know, here comes this comedian who has a beauty supply line, now moving into this space where you haven't really been able to maximize the tools that you're trying to give to other people. Mm-hmm. And so that's another thing. It's just like, you're a pastor over a congregation of former alcoholics, people dealing with substance abuse, dealing with sexual assault traumas. But when you leave the pulpit, you're drinking every day, and you're, you know, out here, you know, being a misogynist and like all those things. Like, you can't preach it and not live it. That's where the disconnect comes from. And you know, she has a work cut out ahead of her. I always want to wish the best for every person, and I think what she is trying to do is good. It's good to want to be able to encourage people to seek wholeness for themselves first before trying to find that in other people or demand that out of other people. Now, Darren, we've had this conversation before in Adult Talk before about the list last season, like maybe like episodes in like the 50s. When we had this very same conversation about what we want in a partner, and dating and trying to figure out what that dream person is, and we're actually like abolishing the list, right? I think that's something I said. Like, you have to get rid of the list for other people, and then
throw it out.
Yeah, throw out the list for the other person, and then focus on a list that you want for yourself, and then focus on attracting that and seeing that in other people and what you like and what you need. But at the end of the day, I should have been her life coach.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
You know, so, you know, I get what she's trying to do. She, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I know she intended well. But it's been a hell of a week for her. But the gag was, wow, I was looking at I was looking at the Shade Room, literally looking at the post about her and watching the other girl respond when that I was friends with the author of the book, The List. She went live with Make Your List. Remember, I see your screenshot and we watched it. And she's flipped this prompt. She's flipped it.
Santa made a list.
Right. She's right. Santa made a list. Like, you have to make lists for your groceries. You know what I mean? Like, it's a list, you know. So she was able to flip it and make it a discount for her beauty line. Like, I love the fact that she's enterprising. But you know, it was a great message, maybe wrong delivery.
Yeah.
Talk about the wrong delivery.
Me and Derek agreed. Let me stop.
For now.
Oh, not for now.
For now.
Oh, God. Oh, well, let's move on then. So Serena Williams, she lost to Naomi.
Yes.
And she got in the press conference and she walked out tears. I mean, and I didn't grow up watching Serena Williams, but I always knew that she was like this. You know, I always knew of her. Just to see her not be able to win the games that she used to when she was younger to this younger, it's hurt. It hurts to see that. But also some people feel like she doesn't have to do that no more. Right. Like, she's an icon. She will always be an icon, whether she win or lose. Like, and I was talking to my mom about it because she knows more about, she was around in that time, I guess, her era of playing tennis. She said, no, it was her father. Like, her father instilled that she had to be like this champion and she always had to win or something like that.
Mm-hmm. She's a competitor. And she is undoubtedly probably the greatest athlete in the world compared to other athletes. Mm-hmm. And I think I watched the press conference and I watched how she left the court. And I think it was just because there's such this immense pressure now for her to set this record. Like, we know you're the greatest athlete, but to cement that, to shut the haters up, to shut up the talking heads, she knows she has to win 2 more Grand Slam titles so that it can be clear that she's the best tennis player that the world has seen. And for her to be in this moment and in the midst of her comeback and to lose in this way to someone who she does respect. And Naomi has always said that Serena is one of her idols. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's and it doesn't take anything away from Osaka's win, but it was an emotional moment for her, and it's just like, I felt like watching that clip is almost like watching, Beyonce lose a Grammy for best R&B or pop performance to Normani or Ariana or, one of the newer girls that grew up listening and looking and watching and studying how she performs her craft. But, win, lose, or draw, Serena is, she's walking, living, breathing history.
Yeah.
And, I don't think this is the end for her. But one thing that she did say, somebody asked her the way that she left, putting her hand on her heart and waving and leaving, which is something she does she's done before.
All the time.
They were like, is that your way of saying farewell? And that's when she got emotional and kind of like, is that what people think this is? Like, do people see this loss as the end of Serena Williams? Is this the end of my career? Is this how this is going to be, looked at in the canon of time? And she said, if there is going to be a farewell, I wouldn't say it. So it was tough to watch, and my family are Williams supporters, and it was tough for them too. Like, my grandmother was sad because Serena lost. And my mom, she was probably silent for probably a day or two. She probably still just. But yeah, it's Serena Williams. It's like watching a giant fall.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I don't see it that way. I just feel like it's a game. She lost. Go back, recondition, and we'll see you at the next.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
We all have, times. I think because people think it's the end, and sometimes athletes don't want that. They want to keep on going, but life
she's a competitor. Like, people, like, Serena's a competitor. She is she's not done. Like she's not done yet. Like she still made it to the quarterfinals at 39 years old, which is unheard of by tennis standards. And she's moving like she was moving incredible on the court.
Yeah, she's thick.
She's sick. She's still great, and she's still a number 10, the 10th ranked best player in the world. Mm-hmm. Like she was in the hardest half of the draw. So like all these things, I'm like, and she played Naomi Osaka, who's arguably still one of the best players out right now. So like, it sucks to see her lose, but. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it's just like she's also, because she's such a competitor, she's emotional that she's got close and lost. Like, and another thing too is like when everybody's constantly asking you if you're going to retire, is this the end? Like, at some point, I can only imagine that like it weighs on you. You know, it must, on top of all the other like ridicule that she gets just for being a Black woman and for being Serena Williams. Like, I can imagine it's only natural that she would get a little emotional at that.
Our male counterparts don't get none of this. Don't get none of this pushback.
None of that.
She won't retire. We won't know of Serena Williams retiring until Wendy Williams produces her Lifetime movie. That's when we'll know. We'll know later. Allegedly.
Okay.
You know it's a rap job.
Yeah.
Honey, oh my God. Well, Lil Boosie has done it again and pissed off another group of people. Okay. The rapper got on Vlad TV, okay, and was talking about Lori Harvey. He says that he wouldn't sleep with her because of her, you know, running through the male celebrities or whatever, and that she's not like wifey material. Listen to this.
Started with Trey Songz, then it went to Justin Combs, then it went to his father, Sean Diddy Combs. Then it went to Lewis Hamilton, the race car driver. Then it went to Future. Now she's with Michael B. Jordan.
You skip Boo.
Wait, you're similar to that mix?
Yeah, you skip Boo, Akon, brother. I think we need to stop giving the woman the power, you know, with situations like this. You know, girls keep saying it's goals, but we got to start, this is not goals, you know what I'm saying? We got to start giving the bachelors, the men who running through a beautiful woman like this the credit, who not housing her, running through her. Because most, you know, like Boo, and last time I went to Diddy house, him and Boo was together, you know, like they dogs.
So you would marry Lori Harvey?
Nah.
No. Well, you're not talking about
I don't look for that in a woman, girls who, if a girl like that, I'm just trying to fuck her to.
Okay, so.
And also, like, who's checking for him? Like, and who, why is her dating life such a topic for these men? Like, she don't want you, and like, and she's doing, and who she wants to date and sleep with is her business. It's her business. Like, I don't understand the problem. And it's like, do you want to talk about you getting ran through or whatever?
I wish that the females that are in the industry would start sex shaming these men who are just as promiscuous or just as free with their body,
if not more.
Right. And I think that it reminds me of like the popular girl in school who gets her choice of who she wants. The girls hate her because they can't pull the men that she's pulling because the boys aren't looking at them. And then the boys that she wouldn't choose hate her as well because she wouldn't choose them either. And for someone that looks like Lil Boosie, I just think he should just be quiet. Yeah. And considering the types of women that he has had sex with and has procreated with, like, you shouldn't be speaking on a Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey can take care of herself. You know what I mean? And why do you care? Like, why do you care? And then to attack the men, because I think he said something about Michael B. Jordan being a simp because he actually, like, I'm like, to see a lot of these black men get so riled up when a black man chooses to love on a black woman, like
and publicly.
Yeah, like the Russell Wilson and Sierra thing. Like, why do y'all hate her being happy so much? Why do you hate him being happy with the person he chose?
It's the underlying issue with you.
Like, that just lets me know that your mother and father had a horrible relationship, and you just want everybody else to operate in that same dysfunction because you did.
Yeah, and that's just what it is. With the whole thing with Lil Boosie, she's not wifey material. You got like 8 baby mothers, and I hate to bring it back up, but like you had a whole sex worker do something with your child, your 12-year-old child. That's not husband material. I'm sorry, it ain't. So you really don't have a leg in this fight, honey. You don't
leg to stand on.
A leg to stand on with this because you sound stupid. And I want to challenge the Vlad TV interviewer because you're naming all these people. Like, what is wrong with dating? She wasn't doing nothing right. I mean, like, we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know.
And it's crazy because they only do this. They only do this to women. Yeah. They only do this to women. They only do a rundown. Oh, of course. They only do the rundown of the man that they've been with or slept with, as if it's some kind of gossipy thing. But let it be a man. Let it be Meek Mill. They would never talk about who Meek Mill has dated like that. They would never say that Meek Mill is nobody's husband material. You know what I'm saying? It's like
only dated one important person. So.
And then this whole simp conversation, we talked about this earlier, Sean, but this whole simp conversation, this undertones of toxic masculinity, this push to make men more like disrespect, like you said, like y'all said, like, a black man loving on another black woman, like it's such a problem, it's such an issue that people are like, I've seen people on Facebook, it's not just Boosie, it's people on Facebook, it's people on social media, a lot of men. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, oh my goodness, everyone's saying that she's goals. Everyone's saying that she's goals. I'm like, in your perspective, these rappers, these male rappers, y'all saying that's goals too. In your own cohorts, y'all both are saying it. So at the end of the day, what she's doing, is it considered goals? I mean, she's living her life. I can't speak on nobody else.
Right. It is. It's just, and Derek talked about this too earlier, just about the fact that, why is Michael B. Jordan called a simp? Like, it just doesn't make any sense that, like, when people choose, especially specifically black people, when black people choose to love on each other outwardly and openly, all of a sudden there's these negative things, especially if it comes from, if somebody chooses this, who they quote unquote call a hoe, right? Or is dating whomever. If somebody, God forbid, somebody chooses to love this person openly and outwardly and choose them consistently, then that's a problem. There's something wrong with that. Like, it's crazy how people respond to when people actually choose happiness over somebody else's like mess. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It don't make no sense to me.
Boosie's on a rampage to piss everybody off. I think he gonna mess around and piss off his own comrades. His counterpart, like,
no, the people that follow him, the people that his core followers do believe that way. And being someone from South Louisiana too, like, that's very prevalent. Like, that black male patriarchal like attitude, misogyny, the homophobia, like it's on brand for the culture that he was raised in. So, I get it. I may not agree with it, but I get it. Also, it's like when it comes to Lil Boosie, who is a celebrated rapper in my home state, I feel like he's becoming like a black rap Rush Limbaugh. Rest in hell to that man who died last week. But he should just get a podcast at this point. Y'all just give Boosie a podcast. Because, I mean, the things that he says, I don't think they should be taken at face value. I don't think that we have to continue to, like, make university courses out of the things that he says, because we've heard all these things before. They're regurgitated, Hotep tropes. And him and Dr. Umar should probably just host a show together.
But see, even though I don't mess with a lot of Dr. Umar's politics with things, he keeps it a little bit respectful. Lil Boosie is disrespectful
and ignorant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you said he should start a podcast. Good luck getting funded.
Okay, because no platform.
No, yeah, but you can be a famous person with a podcast. You get a lot of numbers, but like, ain't no distributor's gonna want to distribute you if you say the stuff that you say. He got blocked off of Instagram, so that's main reason that, hey, you probably can't. I don't want to see him on no more celebrities on no podcast. I'm tired of it. Honestly. We started this shit. Okay.
Celebrities.
Huh?
Y'all's friend, Tiny Tim.
Who?
Tory Lanez.
Who this woman?
Oh, that ain't my friend.
She got a new hairstyle. Yes, honey. Oh my God, I got the Homer Simpson, honey.
Did he ever say why he shot Meg?
Whoa, we just went there.
Whoa,
isn't it knowledge?
We'll find out when they go to court and those court documents get released. We'll see what the truth is when that happens. But right now, the universe is scalping him, literally.
He said he better get that Gorilla Glue.
Right, literally, like that. The boldness he's going through.
It fell right off.
The epitome of being a bald-headed hoe. It's crazy. But you got
I said this on my story. God don't like ugly.
Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to take that money he made off that mixtape or album that he dropped, and just go ahead and get him a man weave. Just go ahead and give me a couple dollars.
Allegedly, right?
Because honey, I listened to 5 songs and left. Okay,
that's more than I listened to.
Oh,
right.
No, because I wanted to see he was, the stuff he was talking about Meg. I'm like, what this nigga had to say? But yeah, like, it's just cut it off. You might as well just not have why? Like, if you're not gonna keep up with your fake hair, like, or your what do you got, implants? What is it? The little hair growth thing?
At one point, I thought he did have. I thought he had gotten implants or whatever, but
stay.
I don't know. He maybe I could say he probably needs to start using the Gorilla Glue then, because whatever they had wasn't working. He was using Elmer glue. Had to be
black. He not to say that we got good hair, because we do, but
some of us.
We have thick hair. I mean, okay, it may not be good, but we definitely have hair. You get what I'm saying? We don't start losing our hair until we get old.
It depends on who. Well, that's also genetic too.
Let me knock on wood, girl.
Yeah, hair loss could be hair loss. Hair loss could be for a number of things. You could have hereditary pattern baldness. You could also have a really poor diet. You could have a lack of food.
Damn, really? Everything with the diet.
You have a lack. I mean, what you put in your body does show on the outside. Like it does. That's why what you eat is so important. What type of vitamin intake you're putting in your body, the substances you're putting in your body, how it affects the way you look. You know what I'm saying? That's why some of the drugs that people are out here doing, like, it shows up on their face in craters. It shows up in pimples. I'm just saying, like, that's part of it. What you put inside your body will show on the outside. And I think right now the bald-headed hoe ratchetness that he's been injecting is now manifesting on his dome.
Oh my God!
Shout out to his barber.
Right.
And he continued to be employed.
Sorry to that Smurf.
Well, is he close to Safari? Because then they could go to the same person if he wants to get it done and touched up. And listen, plastic surgery, people do it. So many people. So, like, but whoever took that picture is shady for that.
They go to hell.
$3,500. Just go get $3,500.
I'm like, who the fuck took that picture?
Get a whole new scalp. He can afford it.
Did you see Noriega's response? Did you see that?
Who? Oh, with the Y'all, I'm like, y'all are crazy. So there's no new news in music, but 6ix9ine said he was dropping a new music video. Did we watch this? Did we see it? Are we checking for it?
Who said that?
Who?
He definitely. I believe he posted something. I seen something on That's So Bold.
He dropped it by himself.
I think so.
I don't know what that.
Y'all didn't hear Kelly Rowland's new EP?
Oh yes,
yeah.
That's what they call it.
He did come out with it's called Zaza. Oh, wait,
okay.
Mm.
All right.
Oh.
Damn. Honey, if Nikki ain't on it, we're not here. Okay.
It's no shade.
I'm not watching this.
We're not in the era of just people yell anymore. I'd rather DMX drop a new track than listen.
Okay, now that I would listen to.
What y'all feel about Tekashi pulling up on Meek Ramika?
That was funny. It's like Love and Hip Hop. Love and Hip Hop Young Money is what I call it now. Like
I Love and Hip Hop Young.
They're more it's more entertaining to see them all interact with each other.
They might as well be on the show.
Might as well.
Shit, I might actually watch it illegally. But anyway,
I'd watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it. I definitely would. Speaking of watching, I think it's time for us to go ahead and get our reality check.
Yes, it
so, Darren,
is.
what's going on in Atlanta? What are the
well,
girls doing?
I'm done with Kenya. I really am. Like, and I've been a fan of her.
I'm so proud of you. Oh my god.
No, because no, I mean, but there were some instances during her time in Housewives where I felt like, okay, she got the bad end of the stick, but it's whatever. With this season, however, I do not like how she was treating those girls at that trip. Like, she literally, when they were pleading to her and telling her, like, yo, we could have really brought our kids on the show, like, she completely dismissed them like it didn't even matter. Like, she's very narcissistic. I mean, she was always narcissistic, but it was kind of cute in my perspective, it was cute for me. Like, it was funny, it was entertaining. But like now it's getting to a point where it's like, girl, like, you really like, and then you talk about you want them to be your village, and I'm like, you're not even respecting them to be your village. Like, you got to respect. Like, it goes both ways. Like, with Kenya, like, they're centering her around to be like the leader of the pack, because when they were upset that because that's one thing I didn't understand either, when they were upset because she didn't want to go to the they were playing some kind of stupid drinking game. Okay, and she ended up, her kid is in the room. She was like, I'm not going downstairs or whatever. And like, they all got mad, but I'm like, what?
We're gonna play what? Never Have I Ever.
Never Have I Ever. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's like y'all don't function when Kenya's not around.
That wasn't the point. They can function without her, but you're the host. How you inviting me?
Okay.
On a trip that you're hosting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have an itinerary. You're getting separate meals for yourself. You are isolating yourself from the group. You are affording yourself maternal luxuries that you didn't even offer to the other group.
Mm.
Even in the way that you travel, like, you're the host of the trip, you took a private jet, which looks like a crop duster, but took a private jet and let the other girls get there on a bus. Like, she was just a horrible host. And that's what they were saying. It's like, you're a horrible host. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when it comes to like her talking about, if y'all want to be say we're a village and we're a sisterhood, then step up and be my village. It's like, well, you don't even mess with half the girls. It's the first thing. And I wanted, while she was in there crying and cutting people off and like being very defensive and guarded and going into this whole, single mother, woe is me moment, I really wish that Nene would just pop up at the end of the screen on the side of PIP and like, I'm gonna send you one of those support me, bitch shirts. I was waiting for her to say it. Like, that's what I was waiting for her to bubble. Support me, bitch. Like,
yeah, like, it's giving very much. Yeah, they making her out to be like this new Nene, and it's like, it's not working.
She's making herself and it doesn't work for her. And the funny thing is, Nene has been saying that the whole time. She's like, Kenya wants to occupy this space, and so here we are. What I feel is going to happen is that Drew, and Latoya, their drama is going to override all the other, like the Kenya being a single mom and Mark divorcing her and stuff like that. And I think she's going to find herself back being third, fourth ranked.
Okay.
Because like at this point, like her life just isn't interesting enough now. It's just like, okay, well, you found a man, you finally found a man, you finally had a baby, you got married, you did things you wanted to do, and all of it crumbled. Probably because you're a shit person.
The blink of an eye. And it's like that shit was
like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and we would feel sorry for you or have some form of empathy for you if you didn't spend the first 3 to 4 seasons like antagonizing people who were going through the same things that you were going through.
Literally.
Literally. And now that's happening to you, you want them to be sympathetic and to be there for you and to care for you. And it's just like, no, girl, no. Be that same wicked witch you've been.
Okay.
And just eat it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I said from the beginning of this season, the only thing I want to see from Kenya is to see her sitting down in therapy. I want to see Kenya in therapy. That's it.
So she has some control issues, and she's a narcissist, and I can't rock with it. Now, you brought up Drew. I was talking to Sean about it earlier before we started. I think she broke the fourth wall because I remember she was talking to Portia about how like everyone is like, oh, like it seemed like it's so fake how people are arguing with each other in one scene. 30 minutes later, they're like the bestest of friends, and like when the way she said it, it was so weird because about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I can't unsee it now. This has basically been the formula of Real Housewives of Atlanta since I mean, not since the beginning, but definitely since maybe season 13, 14.
Mm-hmm. Like no, it's been. I mean, but that's on brand for them, where they'll have a group scene or there'll be a blow up, and then they'll go into their quadrants, and then they'll come back and have a dinner and hash it out.
But it's starting to get like Love and Hip Hop-ish, like
the ebb and flow of reality television, like those mini stories. But
yeah,
specifically, it wasn't just about the girls and being in an argument one scene and being friends the next. It was specifically about Kenya. It was like when Kenya was gone, everybody had all these things to say about her not being there and participating with the group. And then the next day, it was like, nobody wanted to talk about it until it was brought up.
Right.
That's when, the overflow discussion. I think Candy in her confessional was like, I just choose to not dwell in the negativity. We're on a vacation. You know what I mean? You don't want to spend your whole vacation angry or in a negative space with the people you're there with. So trying to make the best of it, that means that, you know what? This fucked up shit happened yesterday. You were wrong. Candy told her one-on-one, like, you were being an asshole. She literally, you were being an asshole. And so once we have that moment, like, I'm over it and we can move into something else. Some of the other girls don't really care enough to have those one-on-ones with Kenya like that. Like Portia was just like, okay. Like,
I don't care.
I was Portia when Portia was on her phone and Kenya was like, I'll just wait until I get y'all the attention. It's like, you don't need my attention. I
was so happy, but I was like, yep, okay.
The people that want to listen to you are listening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Portia gives Kenya nothing. I love it because she used to, go back and they used to go back and forth. Like them two went back and forth back in the day, honey. Okay.
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. So right now, we haven't got through half the season yet, and I'm ready for the reunion just to see how they're gonna drag her.
Yeah, Kenya needs to get drugged.
Unfortunately, not physically. I hope nobody puts hands on her wig again. But
promote violence here.
We definitely do not promote violence.
So I don't know. I guess now that we're closer to Strippergate, the ratings will go up because they have been.
Yeah, and you seen the piece reportedly on Instagram? They posted that whole fucking snippet on there. I'm like,
the whole thing.
Oh yeah, behind the unseen.
If I watch this, I'm not gonna watch the show. Like, how y'all? And I know they get the content from the show, from Bravo. Like, they're not.
It's a super teaser. It's supposed to make you want to see.
Teaser.
Well, I mean, you got a couple behind the scenes and security footage, but we still didn't get to the point where who was that screaming in that room?
That shit should have been. That shit should count as ratings. And I made a comment on it. I was like, y'all wonder why the ratings are so low. And I got all these comments like, oh, shut up, Nene fan, whatever. I guess I'm a Nene fan. Yeah, like there was people I was like, all right, well, look, shoot, if there ain't no show to talk about, then what you gonna do? Ain't gonna be no more peachly reported. Okay.
So yeah, good luck to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on Real Housewives to come back. I'm ready for Married to Medicine to come back. I'm ready for that.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to see what it's gonna give. Now that you see, you've been watching the Salt Lake City.
No, I've been trying to binge it for the past couple of days. Those women are a lot. I tell you, they're crazy. They a lot.
Crazy. You hear me? Especially Jen.
Jen is a mess.
I
literally was watching episode 3. I was like, oh, okay, so she's the villain. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. I see you, Nicole. That's what she looks like to me. She reminds me of what's that? The girl from
Pussycat Dolls, Nicole Scherzinger.
Mm-hmm. That's what she gives. She gives a drag version of Nicole Scherzinger. Mm-hmm. So I haven't seen the review yet. What happened?
Well, honey, you cover Salt Lake City. I cover Real Housewives of Atlanta in Jersey.
Yeah, we'll talk next week. I think the second part came out this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably catch up over the next couple of days this weekend while I'm snowed in.
I've been watching Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, they just came back.
Oh, is that back on?
Yeah, it's back on.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Teresa's and all them. Teresa already started shit. She already saying
yes.
She already saying that other. I forgot her name, Diane or something. Whatever. Her husband over here cheating around at the gym. I'm like, child, we start. Episode 1.
Baby, when she said that's like me hearing that your daughter is snorting coke in the bathroom. I was just like,
oh, they get real ghetto.
Oh my god!
Because I feel like aren't they all like family too at this point? I feel like Jersey is just like family and cousins now.
I think that Teresa and what's the other girl's name? Melissa. They're like sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And there's Margaret. There's the other girl. I don't know her name. Dolores. I love me some Dolores. She is cool.
I like her live. I've caught her lives a couple of times.
Child, her son. Oh, let me stop.
Ooh. Drop the in the chat.
Come
on. Her son, girl. Child. He was on the first episode. I was like, ooh.
Yes.
Some of these housewives we have cute as grown adult sons.
Like Sheree.
Yeah, I was just about to. Child. He was like, don't look at my son. I'm like, look, girl.
You put it on camera, we're gonna see.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen it yet.
This is I guess out of the Bravo universe, but the Bad Girls Club or some kind of different show that's centered around like the Bad Girls Club is going to be on Zeus. Tanisha, something like most of the cast from Bad Girls Club is going to be there. Tanisha, Natalie, Sydney Starr from Love and Hip Hop is going to be on there, and just some other people as well. Did you hear about this?
No, I haven't heard about. What's the concept?
Huh? Well, it's something about the baddies on vacation. I think that's what it's called, and it's like they're going to be put into a mansion, and there's going to be some drama. It's going to be like Bad Girls Club essentially, but they're not calling it that. So,
got it.
I mean, I looked at some of the clips because my best friend is a diehard Bad Girls Club fan, so she was just like sending me like, "Oh my god, like, well, this is going to be very different because they're going to have Sydney Starr on here, which is, already, a lot of conversations about that."
Why? What's the tea with Sydney Starr?
Well, Sydney. This will be, the first time we get something like a Bad Girls Club with a transgender cast member. And people are,
right.
How is she going to interact with the other girls? I mean, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying what I've seen in the comments and stuff.
Like a bad girl.
And I'm like, y'all don't even need to be worried about Sydney Starr getting into it. Like, she don't even fight. Like,
she does. Like, she really doesn't. I feel like
she runs that mouth though.
She runs that mouth.
She's one of those. She will definitely run that mouth for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we can close, I think, on a good note. I don't know if you guys were watching the headlines this week, but Lauryn Hill became the first female rapper
Woo!
A diamond album. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill has sold 10 million copies.
Damn.
And so she was being celebrated this week. And one thing I always like about this album is that it kind of became like I won't say it's not the pink print, but it definitely became like a blueprint for female R&B hip hop albums.
Mm-hmm.
And for her to be late for everything, I feel like this was on time for her. And I hope she don't have to sell that diamond album plaque to pay her taxes.
Okay.
Why is she like this?
You know, he gotta
get one in. You know, he gotta just put one in.
Oh my God! But no, love to Lauryn Hill, and
yes, she's
amazing achievement.
She's definitely the blueprint.
What an amazing album that was too.
Yeah, I wish she would have did more though.
You sure was what?
I wish she would have did more, like more music. She kind of like
she released another album after that. She did another one after that, didn't she? Or like
how many albums did she have?
She did it wasn't a lot thing afterward, I think, too. But I don't know. And she released a lot more than that.
Great for the time that it was. I feel like everything has its season. And she had a good season. It's good to see that her album is still being celebrated and that it's still
of course. Yeah.
So it's a testament to the artistry, and when you really put your soul into your music and to what you love, like you can eat off of it forever if it's something that's real, authentic, which sets rappers, and I won't just say rappers, but artists like Lauryn Hill, and the Michael Jacksons and the Beyoncés and the Whitneys apart from some of these artists that we have now that can drop a single that'll go number one and then they disappear for 10 years. We never hear from them again. Because
real shit, music, talk about it.
Real quality music that you can go back to and you can relate to. And I find myself, now that I'm getting older, like I literally go back and listen to the music that I remember my mom listening to when we were cleaning up the house on Saturdays, listening to the old Mary J. Blige and Tony Braxton.
Yeah.
Like this was a nice beat when I was a kid, but I really feel this shit now. You know what I mean? Like I've experienced what love feels like. I've experienced what heartbreak feels like. You know, I've experienced, being on a journey of enlightenment where I can see the world in a different space as a Black person, and like being able to relate to albums like Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I think that's something that makes it exciting for little Black kids to know, and then in the future they can go back in our history and go back in our archives and find something that they can relate to today and in the future. So for real, seriously, honestly, and sincerely, like I'm very proud. It's a proud moment for that to be announced that Lauryn, her album is still selling and making an impact still to this day with all the other noise that we're being, so yeah.
Well, all right. Well,
happy Black History Month.
Okay.
We're still here. Okay.
You know that.
Thank you so much, Sean, for joining us. Oh my goodness, this is a great episode. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Sean Anthony Bryant. They can also find me on Twitter at Who You Love Sean. And I'm always around working and do some other stuff. So don't be afraid. Slide in the DMs, say what's up, and I'll be sure to respond. Okay.
Well, his information will be in the description once I have this podcast posted. Come back. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, absolutely. I love to come back. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening, listeners. Until next time, I am your host, Darren Green.
I'm Prince Derek Dahl.
This is the Darren Green Show, signing out.
Bye.
If you like what you heard, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating. As always, enjoy the convo. Oh my God, we done. Okay. Yep, that's recorded. So like the first 10 minutes of the interview, good thing that's recording here, but like I have to like take that piece off and put it on because I forgot to press the record button. I'm like, damn. But it's okay. It's gonna be You get what I'm saying? This is a really good show. Let me end it right now. Bye, y'all.